If you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or you've even recently started, but there's something holding you back, I'm going to help you in this video. I'm going to try to address every concern that I can think of that stops people from getting started. And I'm also going to suggest ways that you can get past them. But first, you need to hear this because I think it should put it all into context for you. So YouTube has 2.7 billion active users per month, and you need 1,000 subscribers to get monetized and 4,000 hours of watch time, of course. So you need 0.00037% of people on the platform per month to like you. That's 1 out of every 2.7 million people. Now, I know that you can do that. So if you're struggling or you know someone who is, this video might be the answer. So let's get started. So the first thing to talk about, I guess, is mental and emotional barriers. And one of those things is spending too much time on low impact tasks. Now, before you start a channel or just after you have, it's easy to get caught up in the small details or the weird YouTube myths that new creators are often exposed to. This means that you might be wasting a lot of time on tasks that have little to no impact on your actual channel growth. I mean, choosing a channel name or designing your channel banner art, worrying about video tags or Googling whether the name of your thumbnail file will somehow make your videos more successful. I mean, it's just better at the start to get videos out there. You can fix these little things as you go, but it's going to be much more impactful for your growth to have content out there that people can find and start watching. Now, some people are worried about people judging them. I mean, many people worry about what friends, family, or strangers will think. And yeah, you might experience some negativity. Some people's intentions are bad. They're jealous or they see you doing something that they aren't brave or motivated enough to do themselves, and they want to hold you back. But, I mean, they're probably in a much worse place than you, right? Some people, they just lash out when they're not feeling good about their own situations. Are you going to let their negativity stop you? Because then you'll just end up joining them in their misery if you do. You've probably already met these people, especially if you're over 40. I mean, they might be holding themselves back, but don't let them do the same to you. Now, of course, some people's intentions are good. They want to save you from disappointment or failure. But, their opinion is probably based on a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge about what you're trying to do and why. They aren't you, and their life experiences are different. Maybe you have a feeling that there's something wrong with the way that we do things with regards to jobs, or that there's something better out there for you. Maybe you're searching for more freedom and the ability to, make your own decisions. Not everyone gets this. So if they don't even know where you're coming from, they can't give you advice on where you're going to. I always say that you should respect everyone's right to have an opinion, but that doesn't mean you need to respect the opinion that they have. Because some people are just plain wrong, or they're well-intentioned but misguided. So trust in yourself and look for the positive people that you can join on the journey, like me and all the great people that have joined me on my channel. So, I mean, most people are more concerned with their own lives and their own struggles. And if they come across your content and they don't like you, they'll most likely just leave and not come back. And you'll never even know about it. They clearly aren't your audience, and why would they waste time to comment or otherwise put you down? If they do spend their time doing this, they probably have bigger issues than the fact they didn't like your video. And, you should just politely thank them and move on. If they persist, you can just delete them and their comments and just block them. Your people will respect the effort that you put in and the value that you provide. So do it for them. And with friends and family, you don't need to tell everyone what you're doing from the start. And if you think someone will somehow stumble upon your content randomly, it's just not going to happen. No one I know has ever found my content, and I've never seen anyone I know that's created a channel and then I've randomly stumbled across it. The chances this will happen are practically zero. And I mean, if it does, then they might love what you do. And if they don't, who cares? And you can just deal with it then. Now, some people struggle with, imposter syndrome. I mean, what if you're feeling like you're not qualified or you're not interesting or good enough? Well, I mean, you don't need to be an expert. You just need to share what you know or what you're learning. If you're one step ahead or even on the same level as somebody else, there's still going to be something that you've learned that they haven't yet, and you can add value to them by passing that on. Now, some people suffer from, perfectionism. They're waiting until everything is just right. Gear, branding, editing, your recording space. You just don't feel that you're ever quite ready to start. So, on YouTube, finished is just better than perfect. No one's really ready to start ever. And everyone has stuff to learn and improve. And your first videos are going to be rough. They're just practice. You improve by doing, not waiting. And if you're trying to learn to ride a bike, you can't just read books and watch videos about it. You have to get on the bike and try. And yeah, you might fall off the first few times. But on YouTube, you're going to see probably improvement quite quickly over time. So just start recording with the gear that you have in whatever place you can. The rest will fall into place over time. But what then if you're scared, to fail? Maybe you're afraid to try in case no one watches or your channel just doesn't grow. Well, failure is a part of success. It's a stepping stone towards it. Every creator has flop videos, and the only guarantee of 100% failure is if you just don't start. And most successful people have failed multiple times before. Steve Jobs founded Apple, and then he got fired in the 80s after products like the Apple I and the Apple Lisa that he pushed for failed. And this cost the company millions of dollars. And he then started his own company, which was then sold in 1997 back to Apple. And that meant that he went back to work there. And then, as you probably know, he ended up running the company. So you shouldn't be scared to fail. You should be scared to regret not trying. Now, what about the fear of being on camera? Maybe you're nervous about how you look, how you sound, or how you come across on video. Well, the way you look or sound isn't of much concern to anyone else. If it is, they have bigger issues to deal with than you do. So just start filming and uploading. If you can't bring yourself, though, to be on camera right now, you can always start a faceless channel. They can work great in my experience, especially for certain types of content. And they can, you can also do voiceovers, screen recordings or slideshows. And as your confidence grows, you can ease into camera presence later. The way you see yourself or what you feel when you hear your own voice isn't what other people think. They see and hear you, how you are every day. And to them, it's just you. To everyone else, it just isn't a shock. It's only a shock to you. So what if you feel overwhelmed by all this? You feel lost in a sea of info. Equipment, editing, niches, algorithms. The key is just to start. Just start recording and talk to the camera about something. One simple video, one step at a time. List out the things that you think you need to learn or do and just put them in a priority list. Take the most important thing and then start doing it. Now, if you can't decide what's most important, just choose anything and start with that. Sometimes starting a journey shows you where you need to go next. Just keep it short, use your phone and use basic free tools and just learn as you go. And what about low confidence? What if you doubt your ideas or your voice or your value? Well, confidence is built through action. You can make private videos at first if needed or create under a nickname. Every small win is going to build you momentum. And, don't expect overnight success. This can happen, but for most people, it's slow at first when you start out. But in the end, you're going to get your first subscriber, comment or like, and it feels great. Somebody actually likes what you do. It's fantastic. And, remember that you just need one out of every 2.7 million people to like what you do. If you're looking to get monetized, that is. And remember the feeling you get when you get that first like, subscriber or the comment. Because when things get tough, you can go back to this. And, it won't be the only success that you have. More will come if you keep going. But then what if you fear success? Some people will, worry about being seen or going viral or not being able to handle the growth. It can feel like a lot of responsibility to have people wanting to hear what you have to say. And it might feel like there's an expectation to perform and not let people down. Well, remember, you've grown because people like you. If you're worried about that growth and living up to expectations that probably only you've created for yourself, then make a video about it. I mean, not only are people going to find a discussion about your growth interesting, they will also sympathise with your struggle. I mean, it adds a human touch, and overnight success just isn't the norm anyway. Growth on YouTube is normally gradual, and you'll have time to adapt. You're always in control of how much you share or how often you post. So only do what you can realistically achieve so you don't burn out or get overwhelmed. Now let's take a quick break there, because I just want to say that if you've experienced any of the issues that we've talked about so far, tell me about it in the comments below. And if I've missed anything by the end of the video, or you want a more in-depth sort of discussion on any of these topics, just let me know and I'll fix that. All right, so what about technical and practical barriers? I mean, some people think they lack the gear or the setup to make this work. Maybe you think you need fancy cameras, lights, or an expensive mic to start. Well, while all these things help, in reality, you can just use your phone to get started. I mean, you can use natural light or whatever lighting you currently have, and you can find a quiet room or corner to film in and just try it out, or go outside and do it there. The most important thing is your message, not your equipment. You can expand your setup over time when you know that this is something you want to do. But what about then if you have no experience with editing? I mean, you don't know how to edit, you don't know how to use the software, or even which one you should use. Well, I mean, you can start with free and beginner-friendly tools like CapCut or Clipchamp. I mean, focus on simple techniques or just don't edit at all. Fancy editing can come later, and you often don't need it anyway. There are plenty of people who do minimal to no editing at all and are successful. I've got a CapCut beginner's guide video that covers all the basics and more, so I'll link that in the end of the video. But what then if you're not technically minded? You know, you're afraid of the technical stuff like stuff behind the scenes, you know, uploading, tags, thumbnails, YouTube Studio. I mean, what's it all about? Well, YouTube has tutorials that literally walk you through everything that you want to know. And you only really need to learn just enough to upload your first video. The rest can be figured out over time. When I see something that I don't know how to do and I want to learn it, I know from experience by now that if I put the effort in and I don't give up, I'll get there. I mean, even, you know, when sometimes you feel stuck and the problem seems impossible to solve. I mean, I can't count the amount of times that I've run into a technical issue and thought, you know, I can never solve this. But I've found that pretty much every time, if I just keep pushing and looking for a solution, I'll find one in the end. Just learn one small piece of what you need to do at a time and start with the most simple things. Eventually, you're going to have everything that you need. And, you know, that brings us on to, like, what about having too many options? You can get lost in choosing like a niche, a video format, or a strategy. And there are a lot of people out there that just get lost in procrastination and never get started. Choose one thing you're interested in and make one video about it. You don't need to pick your forever niche on day one or your style. This can develop over time. And once you have one video done, you can analyze it and see what you can improve next time. And then just do another video and focus on that specific improvement. Over time, you're going to have many small improvements that are going to add up and be easily noticeable. And your direction will become more clear as well. So, you know, deciding exactly what you want to do right from the start just isn't required. Sometimes you have to test things out and find out what works best for you. So what about the time and the energy barriers? I mean, everybody has a lack of time, right? Life's busy. Maybe you've got a full-time job, kids, other commitments. The secret is just to start small, one short video per week or whatever you can do. Now, if you can batch record when you get a chance, if you have lots of ideas ready to go, and you can use evenings and weekends, and just a few consistent hours a month is enough to begin. Think about how you normally go about your day. How does it normally look? Where can you save or create time to spend on YouTube? Can you get up earlier? Can you do it on your lunch break? Are you getting home and wasting time on Netflix or something similar? You can literally use a voice recording app on your phone to create basic video scripts while you're driving your car to work. Then you just use an AI tool like ChatGPT to put it into a well-ordered script. So find times when you can work on your channel and commit to doing it, and find ways to make your process smoother. Now, some people can suffer from burnout before even starting. I mean, all this stuff we've talked about so far, maybe you're feeling already like you're just tired thinking about all the work that's involved. Now, most people have lots of commitments, and yeah, you're going to have to work at this if you want it to be anything more than a hobby. And, if you're happy with your regular job and the compensation that you get for the time you spend there, then you're good. You can still start a channel, but maybe it's just a hobby. But if you're serious about YouTube, if you want to elevate yourself above the regular 9 to 5, then you're going to have to commit and put in the time. There's no way around that. But, that's exactly the same for any other project or business that you want to start. Have you ever come home from work and then, gone straight into a construction project or a renovation project on your home? Have you ever worked overtime? Have you ever had to do anything else that was difficult or required more of you than usual? I bet you have. The point of starting a channel as a business is that you want to strive for something better. And yes, that requires work and giving up some of the other things that you might do normally. But at least when you're starting out, you need to do that to maybe gain momentum. But there are also ways that you can get started slowly with the least amount of extra time required. I just made a companion video while I was planning this one, which was just a super simple walk and talk in the woods while I walk the dog. So I'll link that at the end of the video, and so you can see how easy and simple it can be if you just want to start that way. So set a pace that works for you. There's no rule saying how often you have to post. Just focus on starting. I mean, I have a channel where I posted things all over the place without any proper schedule. And this was 6 years ago. And some of those videos are very successful and they still get views today. Your posting schedule can always increase and become more consistent as you learn. Now, a lot of us have a lot of life priorities. Maybe you feel that YouTube is always coming second, so it always gets pushed to, some other day. Well, a some other day attitude rarely turns into actual action. So you need to create a structure and commit to a set time window, even if it's just 30 minutes a week. Start small, because even a voice note or a video idea in your phone counts. Again, I've got a video on this that I'll link in the description, but just set aside some time and work on your channel with consistency. So what about mindset and beliefs? Maybe you believe that it's too late to start. Perhaps you think that the platform's oversaturated or it's just for young people. Maybe you think there's too many people already in your niche. Well, there's always room for new voices and ideas. I mean, you're not too late. You're bringing something that no one else can. And that's your unique story, your life experience and your perspective. There are always going to be people of all ages on YouTube. I mean, look at these creators who are 60, 70 plus. And if they can do it, what's your excuse? I think this gentleman here is in his 80s. So there really are no limits except the ones that you're putting on yourself. Now, being impatient, I mean, that can be a thing too, right? You're hoping for quick growth, views or monetization, and you're worried if these don't happen, you're going to get disappointed or disheartened and you're going to quit. You're worried about looking at other people's growth and that you won't measure up to it. Well, I mean, YouTube is a long-term game. While there are people that succeed very quickly, this just isn't the norm. I mean, there's usually a dead zone where nothing much happens on your analytics. And this is where, sadly, most people give up. But that's often before the real growth suddenly happens. So there's just no time limit. It's just a part of the process for most people. So measure your progress instead of, in statistics by actually what you've learned and your confidence and your consistency. Success is going to come and you'll be more likely to get there with consistent and improving effort. And along the way, you're going to learn all kinds of new skills which you could apply to other things. Now, what about believing that everything's already been done? Do you think that there's no original content left to make? One of my favourite underrated films called Strange Days really nails this with this unoptimistic quote. Now, one of the characters says, "You know how I know it's the end of the world? Everything's already been done. Every kind of music's been tried, every kind of government's been tried, every hairstyle, bubblegum flavours, breakfast cereal. What are we going to do? How are we going to make another 1,000 years? I'm telling you, man, it's over. We've used it all up. Now, I know sometimes it can seem like people are throwing out generic advice or outright copying other people's content, but topics may repeat, but you haven't told your version of it yet. People might come for the topic, but they might stay for your personality and perspective instead. No one has the same story to tell as you, so put your own personal touch to whatever you make and see if it hits. Remember, 1 in every 2.7 million. It's all you need. Now, there's a lot of people who are just waiting around for the right time. It's easy to get stuck in a loop of procrastination. You're always waiting, hoping for more time, better gear, or a perfect idea. But it's better to start imperfectly than never start at all. You become more ready by doing stuff. You get nowhere by waiting. The best time to start was yesterday, and the second best time to start is today. So go and do it now. Well, after this video is finished, of course. But what then if you want to get started, but you lack a clear purpose? You might not know exactly what you want to talk about. Maybe you can't settle on niche, or you can't quite imagine what your style might be. Well, the solution to that is that it's okay. Start with what interests you right now. And, your focus is going to evolve over time as you figure out what you enjoy and what connects with viewers. If you have something that you're good at, or even better that you enjoy, then do that. Just start. If you can't find a niche, or you don't think you're good at anything, ask yourself this. What have you always wanted to learn or do? What interests you? Go start learning that and document your journey. Anything you learn, you can pass on to others. And you can document your progress and your struggles along the way. Not having a niche is just not an excuse. Now, there could be financial, money-related barriers. Maybe you're scared of wasting your time or your money. It can be hard to imagine investing in something that might not work or might not provide any returns. But think about all the things you've done in your life that cost money and you now have nothing to show for. Your YouTube channel, though, might be a life-changing thing for you. That Starbucks coffee you bought this morning won't be. I would say it's always worth investing in yourself. You never know what impact it might have on your future. But, we're also missing one major thing here, right? You don't need to spend any money to get started. You can just use free tools and basic gear to start. Only invest once you know you're committed and you enjoy the process. Now, what about negative online advice? There's conflicting opinions about niches, algorithms, strategies. There's people telling you stats like 90% of YouTubers don't get monetized. Well, you've got to take that advice as guidance, not fact. Test things out. Find what works for you. Every channel is unique. And when you hear a statistic like 90% of YouTubers are not monetized, that might seem disheartening. But think about it for a minute. A statistic is only as useful as, the information that comes behind it. And you need to fully understand and analyze them before you can make any use of them. Because, of course, most channels aren't monetized. Most people consume content and have no interest at all in creating it. The BBC actually did a really interesting story on this, which I'll link in the description. But basically, a research project, was set up by Ryan McGrady, and he's a senior researcher at the Initiative for Digital Public Infrastructure at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst in the US. Whew, that was a mouthful. Anyway, they created a tool that scraped more than 18 trillion potential URLs before it collected a big enough sample for real scientific analysis. So what it was looking for was channels, but also those channels that don't appear in search, ones you will basically never see. And among the findings, the researchers estimate that the median video has been watched just 41 times. And posts with 130 views are actually in the top third of YouTube's most popular content. So in other words, the vast majority of content on YouTube is practically invisible. So At the time I was scripting out this video, I had 18 subscribers, and I had one video at least that had 151 views on this channel. Now on my other channel, I had 10 videos, one of which had 55,000 views. So congratulations to me, I'm apparently already in the top 30%, and you might already be too. So, right now I'm filming this, I now have a second video that just hit 302 views, and that's on this channel, of course, and now I have 53 subscribers. So yeah, things can change quite fast. But just think long and hard before you get discouraged by random advice and statistics, because they aren't always what they seem. And remember that other people's performance has no limit on the potential of your own. Now, one thing people get stuck on is overconsumption of content. It's really easy to spend hours on YouTube and tell yourself that, you're doing research, for example. But there comes a point when you're just consuming and you're not creating. So if this is you, you need to set some limits. After watching 1, 2, 3 helpful videos, switch into creation mode. You'll learn much more by doing than you will by observing. Start taking notes and planning out what you want to say on whatever subject you're researching. If you create while consuming, you'll be ready to make that next video, or even just the very first one. Every excuse has a workaround, and every fear has a solution. If I've missed anything out, let me know in the comments below. And also let me know how you got started and how you overcame any obstacles that you faced. Or if you're thinking about starting but can't quite get going, I'd really love to hear about it. If that's you, check out this video here, where I quite literally show you how to start in the easiest way possible. And I did it when things were far from perfect, just to show you that I'm not just some guy on the internet telling you to go and do something. I'm actually prepared to follow exactly what I've told you in this video. And that has become my most successful video, which changed my growth literally overnight. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more practical YouTube advice for creators, particularly if you're 40 plus and thinking about starting. That's what I've done, and I'm here to help you to do the same. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.